Welcome to the deep dive. We often challenge that really common piece of advice you always hear: study hard, get good grades, and you'll land a great, high-paying, secure job.
Right.
But what if, in today's world, that advice? Well, what if it's actually leading people toward financial struggle instead of success?
It's a powerful thought, isn't it? That the very
Yeah.
advice we all grew up hearing might be, well, fundamentally flawed now. It really makes you rethink what security even means today.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what we're doing today. We're going to dive deep into the core ideas from a really influential book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad for Teens.
Hmm.
Our mission here is to pull out those crucial, sometimes kind of counterintuitive insights about financial literacy, about building wealth, the stuff that, frankly, traditional schooling often just skips over. We're drawing straight from the experiences and the contrasting advice and the sources you shared.
Okay, so get ready. We're definitely going to challenge some assumptions, rethink what an asset actually is, and hopefully help you figure out how to gain real control over your financial future, no matter your starting point.
For generations, that master plan seems so clear, right? Do well in school, get the diploma. Maybe, like the author of our source, graduate with honors in accounting from Florida State University.
Right, a solid path.
Then land that job with a big eight firm.
Well,
Back then, that was the absolute gold standard for accounting, pretty much a guaranteed track to corporate success. The whole idea was work hard, climb the ladder, retire early, my own path, my partner's path. We followed something similar, achieved what most would call success.
but here's where it gets, well, really interesting and maybe a bit unsettling for a lot of folks.
Hmm.
The reality hitting many now, including the author and her husband Michael and the source, is that even with that career success, those pensions they expected, they're just not vesting like they thought.
Yeah.
Their retirement. It suddenly hinges entirely on what they managed to save and invest themselves. It's a huge shift from the security they were promised.
It really throws that traditional blueprint into question, doesn't it? But, for people who followed that path diligently, accepting this new reality can be tough.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's not just the older generation noticing. The source actually mentions this conversation where a son challenges his mom's advice.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, he points to people like Michael Jordan, Madonna, even Bill Gates, who, let's remember, dropped out of Harvard to start Microsoft. He sees massive wealth built completely outside that standard school-to-job route.
And what's his point?
His point is, jobs aren't secure anymore. College grads sometimes earn less than their parents did, relatively speaking, and things like Social Security, pensions, they just seem unreliable now.
Which leads us right into Robert Kiyosaki's definition of the rat race.
Exactly.
He paints this picture, this cycle.
Oh, yeah.
You're born, go to school, chase good grades, maybe college,
Yeah.
then hunt for that quote-unquote secure job, doctor, lawyer, military, government.
You start making some money, the credit card offers roll in, you start buying things.
Then, maybe you get married. Suddenly there are two incomes. Feels good.
It feels like you've made it.
So you buy the dream house, the new car, have kids, and the need for cash just skyrockets.
So you work harder, chase promotions, raises.
Yeah.
Your income goes up, sure, but guess what else goes up?
Taxes.
Taxes, income tax, property tax on the bigger house, Social Security taxes. You look at your bigger paycheck and wonder, where did it all go?
And that, according to Kiyosaki, is
Mhm.
precisely how people get trapped. Stuck in the rat race.
Mhm.
They end up working mostly for their employers, the government via taxes, and the banks for mortgages and credit cards. And this cycle just repeats generation after generation.
Yeah.
Because kids learn, as the source says, nothing about money from the very system that benefits from their financial ignorance.
So the key lesson, the thing that really separates the rich mindset from the employee mindset, is this core idea. The poor and the middle class work for money. The rich have money work for them.
Let's unpack that because it sounds simple, but Kiyosaki says it's actually a radical shift in thinking. It challenges that whole definition of security we're taught. Are you really secure if your income stops the moment you stop working?
Good question.
And that story about the author working for just 10 cents an hour for her rich dad, it wasn't about the 10 cents.
Yeah.
It was designed to make her feel it. Feel the reality of trading her time for tiny sums of money, to understand that feeling of dependency, that urge to break free.
That makes sense. He says the trap is driven by two really strong emotions: Fear, fear of not having enough money.
You have the big one.
And greed, the desire for all the nice things money can buy. And these emotions, he argues, make people react instead of thinking clearly. They get stuck, and money ends up, as he puts it, running their lives.
So the goal is to avoid that trap. And it starts, he says, by choosing to change yourself, not blaming your boss or the economy or anything external.
Okay, so it's an internal shift first.
Definitely. And this connects directly to that saying, it's not what you make, it's what you keep.
Right. We see it all the time.
The sources mention those classic stories. Lottery winners, pro athletes earning millions, then losing it all. There's that specific story of a 29-year-old basketball player, made millions, ends up working at a car wash, claimed his friends, lawyers, accountants, took it all. It just hammers home the point. Money without financial smarts. It just disappears.
Which points to that huge gap in our education system, right?
Massive.
Schools are great at teaching academic stuff, professional skills. But financial skills, almost nothing.
Exactly. And that explains why you see highly educated people, bankers, doctors, accountants, people with amazing grades who still struggle financially their whole lives.
The source even makes a pretty bold claim about the national debt, suggesting it's largely because highly educated politicians and government officials are making huge financial decisions with very little actual training in money management.
Wow, okay. So Rich Dad's approach. He cuts through all that complexity with super simple definitions. To get rich, Kiyosaki insists, you need to know and apply just one rule. Understand the difference between an asset and a liability, and then buy assets.
Okay, define them simply.
An asset is anything that puts money in your pocket.
Puts money in. Got it.
A liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket.
Takes money out. Seems straightforward.
It seems simple, but here's the key insight. Most people struggle because they spend their lives acquiring liabilities, thinking they're assets.
Okay. Like the house.
Often, yes. And the reason this simple idea escapes so many adults, the source suggests, is because they've been educated differently. They expect finance to be complicated, so these simple definitions almost feel, I don't know, demeaning.
That's fascinating. It's like we've been conditioned to expect complexity.
Exactly. And Kiyosaki illustrates this with cash flow patterns. Think about a poor person, or maybe a young person living at home. Income comes in from a job.
And goes right back out.
Right. On expenses, food, rent, clothes, maybe some fun. No real assets, no real liabilities, just in and out.
Okay, then the middle class.
Income from a job, often a good one. But expenses are high taxes. The mortgage, car loans, credit cards. Liabilities really dominate their balance sheet.
And the house they love, their biggest asset,
is actively taking money out every month. Mortgage, taxes, insurance, upkeep.
Okay, contrast that with the wealthy pattern.
The wealthy focus on building that asset column. Stocks, bonds, income-producing real estate, maybe intellectual property like patents or royalties.
Things that generate income on their own.
Exactly. Dividends, interest, rent, royalties. Their expenses and liabilities are managed carefully, often low compared to the income flowing from their assets. That cash flow then buys more assets. It's a virtuous cycle.
The source gives that classic example of the young couple, right? Two incomes.
Yeah, they buy the dream house. Immediately, property taxes kick in. Then comes the new car, new furniture, maybe appliances.
All on credit, usually.
Right. Suddenly, their liabilities column is packed with mortgage debt, car loans, credit card debt. Maybe things get tight, so they take out a bill consolidation loan.
Rolling all that short-term debt into their mortgage.
Exactly. Stretching consumer debt over 30 years. It lowers the monthly payment maybe, but locks them into debt for decades. It's a really risky position.
Which brings us back to that big debate. Is your home an asset?
The source argues pretty strongly that for most people, it's a liability.
Because it costs you money every month.
Precisely. Mortgage, taxes, insurance, maintenance. It consumes cash flow. It doesn't produce it. And maybe the biggest hidden cost, Kiyosaki says, is the missed opportunity.
Meaning the money tied up in the house?
Could have been invested in actual income-producing assets that would be growing their wealth instead.
So the takeaway for you listening is financial illiteracy isn't about not being able to earn money. Lots of people earn good money.
Right.
It's about not knowing how to spend it wisely specifically, spending it to acquire assets that work for you. Building that asset column is the key to freedom, not just a bigger paycheck.
Speaking of assets, let's talk about minding your own business. This starts with a great story about Ray Kroc, the McDonald's guy.
Oh, yeah.
He famously told an MBA class, "I'm not in the hamburger business." Everyone's probably confused. He said, "My business is real estate."
Really? How so?
Because the franchise, buying the right to sell burgers. They were also paying rent or buying the land under the McDonald's, land owned by Kroc's organization.
Wow. I never thought of it that way.
Get this. Today, McDonald's is the largest single owner of real estate in the world. They own prime corners everywhere.
That's incredible.
And it perfectly illustrates Kiyosaki's point. Your profession, banker, lawyer, chef, whatever, that's what you do for money, but your business, that should be your asset column.
So the rich focus on building assets.
While everyone else focuses on their income statement, chasing raises, promotions, maybe a second job. Different focus entirely.
And this relates to the idea of net worth, too, doesn't it? The source warns about that.
Yeah, be careful with net worth. Why?
Yeah.
Because a lot of what people count as assets in their net worth calculation aren't really income producing or easily sellable for their stated value.
Like what?
Like that new car. Loses maybe 25% of its value the second you drive it off the lot. Golf clubs, fancy electronics, even art sometimes. They often sell for way less than you think. And if you do sell for a profit,
Yeah.
you get taxed.
So it's not about just listing stuff you own. It's about real productive assets.
Exactly. What are real assets according to the source? Things like businesses that run without you needing to be there 20/47.
Okay.
Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate that generates rental income, notes, basically IOUs where people pay you interest.
Royalties, too.
Yep, royalties from intellectual property, music, books, patents. Basically anything that reliably puts money in your pocket, appreciates predictably, and has a ready market if you need to sell.
And this ties into spending habits, right? How the rich buy luxuries.
Huge difference. Rich people buy luxuries last.
How?
They build their asset column first, let the assets, the stocks, the real estate, the business generate cash flow. Then that cash flow from the assets buys the fancy car or the big vacation. The assets pay for the luxuries.
Whereas the poor and middle class.
Often buy luxuries first. They see the car, the vacation. They want it now. So they use their own paycheck, or worse, credit their sweat, blood, and children's inheritance, as the source puts it.
Creating debt instantly.
Right. Burdening themselves financially, digging deeper into the rat race, instead of building the engine that could buy those luxuries without the debt.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Taxes. How did they become such a big part of life, especially for the middle class?
Well, Kiyosaki points out that historically, income taxes, like in England in 1874, or the U.S. in 1913 with the 16th Amendment, were sold as a way to punish the rich.
The Robin Hood idea.
Exactly. Take from the rich, give to the poor, or fund the government. And, the masses generally voted for it. It seemed fair.
Yeah.
But the rich, understanding how money and legal systems work, didn't just sit there. They adapted. They utilized a very powerful tool, the corporation.
Which isn't just a building, right?
Not at all. It's a legal document, a legal entity. Think of it like a protective shield and a smart financial vehicle.
How does it help with taxes?
Two main ways. First, corporate tax rates are often lower than high individual income tax rates. Second, and this is key, a corporation can pay for many legitimate business expenses before taxes are calculated.
Like what kind of expenses?
Things like health insurance, car payments if the car is used for business, even travel for things like, say, a legitimate board meeting in Hawaii. Those can be company expenses paid with pre-tax dollars. An individual employee pays for those things with after-tax dollars. Big difference.
Okay, that's a significant advantage.
Huge. Plus, corporations offer legal protection, liability protection. So the wealthy can control vast assets through corporations while technically owning nothing in their personal name, shielding their personal wealth from lawsuits related to the business.
So the source kind of frames it as a game, a war fought with financial knowledge.
Yeah, a war between the haves and the have-nots, waged through laws and financial literacy. And the argument is the uninformed, the poor and middle class who don't understand these rules, they inevitably lose out because they don't know how the game is played.
It's about knowing the rules.
It's almost entirely about knowing the rules.
So if academic smarts aren't the whole picture, what else is needed for real-world financial success?
The source really emphasizes things like guts, audacity, tenacity, brilliance. It flat out says, it's not the smart that get ahead, but the bold.
Boldness, courage.
Exactly. Financial genius isn't just technical knowledge. It's also the courage to act on that knowledge, to take calculated risks.
And the cash flow game is meant to teach this.
Yeah, the game he co-created is designed specifically for that. It teaches how money actually works, how income statements and balance sheets interact,
Hmm.
and crucially, how to build up that asset column's cash flow enough to escape the rat race within the game. It gives you instant feedback on your financial choices.
So you see the consequences immediately.
Right. And the people who do well, they're the ones who see different options, who get creative with deals, and who aren't afraid to take calculated risks.
This links to the idea of working to learn, not just working for a paycheck, doesn't it?
Perfectly. There's that anecdote about the author meeting a writer who called herself the best writing author.
Right. But she wasn't making much money.
Exactly. Amazing writing skills, but no sales or marketing skills. So her reach, her income, was limited. Then she met someone who called himself a best-selling author.
And he admitted he wasn't a great writer.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
But he knew how to sell. He understood marketing, distribution, negotiation. He leveraged those skills.
So the lesson is?
While school pushes you to specialize, learn more and more about less and less, Rich Dad advocated the opposite. Know a little about a lot. He wanted the author working in different parts of his businesses, sitting in on meetings with bankers, lawyers, understanding the whole system, the whole empire.
Shifting focus from just job security to continuous learning across different areas.
Exactly. Because over-specialization can make you vulnerable. The source uses the analogy of a pro athlete amazing at one thing, but if they get injured, if that one skill is gone, they might have nothing else.
So what are the key broad skills to learn?
The source highlights 3 critical management skills. Managing cash flow, managing systems, which includes managing yourself and your time, and managing people.
And sales and marketing are specifically called out.
Hugely important. Why? Because they teach you communication, negotiation, and maybe, most importantly, how to handle rejection, how to overcome fear of asking. Those are skills that pay off everywhere in life.
Okay, one last big principle from the dads giving.
Yes, both dads were teachers in their own way, but Rich Dad really emphasized financial generosity, even tithing. His philosophy was simple. If you want something, you first need to give.
Give first.
Give first. It's give and you shall receive, not receive and then maybe I'll give. He saw the world as a mirror. What you put out, financially or otherwise, tends to come back to you.
Interesting. Okay, so people might get all this, they might understand the concepts, but still not get wealthy.
Right.
Why? What stops them?
The roadblocks. The source lists 5 big ones, and yeah, you'll probably recognize these in yourself or others. Fear, cynicism, laziness, bad habits, and arrogance.
Let's take fear first. The fear of losing money.
It's huge. Everyone feels it, even rich people. The difference is how they manage it.
So what's the advice?
Well, if you really hate risk and worry, the advice is simple. Start early.
Because of compound interest.
Exactly. Time is your biggest ally. Even low-risk investments can grow massively over decades. But if you don't have decades, you need a different attitude. The source mentions the Texas attitude.
What's that?
Embrace failure. See it as part of the process. Like that quarterback saying, winning means being unafraid to lose. You learn more from mistakes sometimes than successes. It's about taking calculated risks, not being paralyzed by fear.
Okay, number 2, cynicism.
The Chicken Little syndrome. The sky is falling.
Letting doubts and worries stop you.
Right. Listening to the constant negative noise from friends, family, the media, the market's going to crash, real estate's too risky, it'll never work.
Yeah.
Cynics just criticize.
But winners.
Winners analyze. They look past the noise, analyze the fundamentals, and spot opportunities others miss because they're too busy being scared or critical. Like buying real estate when the market is down, not up.
Makes sense. Next, laziness. But not just sitting on the couch laziness.
No, it's often sneakier. It masquerades as being busy, too busy with daily life, work, chores, to actually sit down and manage your finances or look for investments or learn something new.
Avoiding the important stuff.
Exactly. And a key part of this is that mindset. I can't afford it. That phrase just shuts your brain down.
Whereas,
Asking, how can I afford it, forces your brain to work, to find solutions, to get creative. It opens possibilities instead of closing them.
okay, then bad habits. What kind of financial bad habits?
A classic one mentioned is dipping into savings. But not for investment, for, paying bills or buying stuff you don't need. Using savings should be about making more money, not just spending it.
And the fix for that ties into pay yourself first.
Yes. Rich Dad's rule, pay yourself first. Before you pay rent, before the credit card bill, allocate money to your asset column.
But isn't that risky? What if you can't pay the bills?
That's the counterintuitive genius of it. The pressure from the bill collectors, the need to pay those bills.
Yeah.
It motivates you. It forces you to find other ways to generate income. a side hustle, a small investment that pays off. It builds your financial muscles instead of letting you coast.
Wow, that's bold. Okay, last one. Arrogance.
Defined simply as ego plus ignorance.
Ouch.
It's thinking you know it all, or that what you don't know isn't important. Oh, I don't yet understand stocks, that's too complicated. Or real estate, too much hassle.
Close-mindedness.
Totally. A truly smart person, the source argues, welcomes new ideas. They listen more than they talk. They're humble enough to learn from anyone who knows more, whether it's a famous investor like Peter Lynch or just someone doing well with local rental properties.
Okay, so we know the roadblocks. How do we actually get started? What are the practical steps to wake up that financial genius?
All right, the source lays out about 10 key actions. First, you need a reason greater than reality, a powerful why,
Like what?
something that pulls you forward. Could be wanting freedom from a job you hate, wanting to provide for family, wanting to travel. For the author, it was initially just loving the feeling of acquiring assets and monopoly and wanting that in real life. It needs to be strong enough to overcome the obstacles.
Got it. Number 2?
Invest in education. Your mind is your #1 asset. Read books, go to seminars, listen to podcasts like this one, listen to audio programs. That $385 real estate course the author took, he estimates it made him at least $2 million. Knowledge pays the best dividends.
3.
Choose your friends carefully. Hang out with people who talk about money and investing constructively, not just bragging. You absorb ideas.
Yeah.
You learn from their successes and their mistakes, and definitely avoid the chicken littles, the perpetual doubters.
Surround yourself with the right influences.
4, master one formula, then learn a new one. Find a strategy that works for you. Maybe it's buying small rental properties, maybe it's dividend stocks, whatever. Learn it inside out. Master the recipe. Then look for new, maybe faster or better, formulas. The speed at which you can learn and adapt is crucial today.
5. We touched on this.
Pay yourself first. Self-discipline. Treat saving and investing like your most important bill. Allocate money to assets before you pay discretionary expenses. Let that pressure work for you.
6.
Pay your brokers well. This means finding good advisors, real estate agents, stockbrokers, accountants who are skilled, ethical, and act as your eyes and ears. Good advice saves you time and makes you money. Don't be cheap with people who can significantly grow your wealth.
7 is interesting. Be an Indian giver. What does that mean?
It's a bit of an old-fashioned term, maybe not the best phrasing today, but the concept is about focusing on getting your initial investment money back out of a deal as quickly as possible.
why?
So you reduce your risk. You make an investment, the asset generates cash flow, you use that cash flow to recoup your initial capital. Once your money is back out, the asset is essentially yours for free, and all future profit is pure upside with minimal risk. It's about return of investment, then return on investment.
Okay, makes sense. 8.
Assets buy luxuries. Use that desire for the nice car or the big house as fuel, but don't buy it with your own earned income or debt. Build assets first until the income from those assets can pay for the luxury. There's that story of the dad giving his son $3,000.
Oh yeah, for a car, but there was a catch.
The catch was he had to use that $3,000 to trade stocks and double it before he could use the original $3,000 plus profits to buy the car. The learning experience about investing was far more valuable than the car itself.
Smart. 9.
The need for heroes. Find successful investors or entrepreneurs you admire, study them, read their biographies, understand how they think, how they approach deals, emulate their mindset, their strategies, even their confidence.
And finally, 10.
Teach and you shall receive. When you teach something, you learn it on a deeper level yourself. Share what you learn about money with others. Give freely of your knowledge, your time, your resources. That principle of giving first often brings unexpected rewards.
That's a great list. And there was some more immediate actionable advice too, right? Like just start doing things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, stop doing what isn't working. Look for new ideas, grab a book on a topic that interests you, then take some kind of action immediately. Don't wait for the perfect moment.
Find experts, take them to lunch.
Yeah. Offer to buy coffee or lunch for someone who's doing what you want to do. Ask questions. Most people are happy to share. Take classes, buy audio programs.
And lots of offers, even low ones.
Especially in real estate, yeah. Make offers, even ones that seem absurdly easy for you, maybe with escape clauses so you can back out if needed. Volume matters. You don't know what someone will accept until you ask. It's a numbers game.
The source also mentions just observing, like driving around.
Yeah, jog or drive through neighborhoods you're interested in. Look for changes, for opportunities, for sale signs that stay up too long, renovation activity. Notice how consumers panic and sell when the market drops.
While smart investors see that as a sale.
Exactly. Investors run towards the sale, consumers run away. Look in the right places too, like foreclosure lists or dealing directly with sellers, not just through standard channels.
And think bigger.
Think bigger. Don't just look for a slice of the pie. Figure out how to buy the whole pie and cut it up yourself, like buying a larger property and subdividing it, for example. Learn from history. And remember, action always beats inaction.
There's that success story that ties it all together, right? The friend who started small.
Yeah, it's a great example. Started with only $7,000, bought a small house, fixed it up a bit, rented it out, got cash flow. Then, instead of just taking the profit and paying taxes,
He used a 1031 exchange.
exactly, a tax-deferred exchange. Roll the proceeds from selling that house into a bigger property, a mini storage facility. That generated more cash flow. Then he did it again into an even bigger project.
Growing his capital tax deferred along the way.
Precisely. That initial $7,000 grew to nearly $330,000 in proceeds, generating $3,000 a month in passive income. It funded his kids' college and set him up for early retirement. All starting small, but using financial intelligence. It wasn't about having a ton of money to start. It was about knowing the rules.
So, wrapping this all up, what's the big takeaway for you listening?
I think it's that money, fundamentally, is just an idea. It reflects your thinking. Your financial reality is shaped by your financial intelligence, your mindset.
Right, it's not just the paper or the numbers in an account.
And with every single dollar that comes into your hands, you have a choice. A powerful choice that determines your future.
What are the choices?
You can spend it foolishly on things that disappear and essentially choose to be poor. You can spend it on liabilities, things that take money out of your pocket and join the middle-class struggle. Or
You can invest it. Invest it first in your mind learning, and then use that knowledge to acquire assets, things that put money into your pocket. That's choosing wealth as your goal, as your future.
so in this world that's constantly changing, maybe playing it safe isn't the safest bet after all.
Maybe not. The source encourages you to play it smart instead. So the final thought for you is, what new idea, what small action will you take today to start awakening your own financial genius?